It is the new year, which means we are trying to get back on our swing. If you enjoyed the holidays like me, you want to get back with a bang. So I have a meal prep for you guys it is a little bit more time consuming, but they are great meals that feed an army. Now, if you guys do like meal prep videos, let me know by giving me a thumbs up and commenting the other meals that you want me to try to put in my meal preps. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. This first recipe is zucchini tater tots. Now, this was a side to go with my bacon and eggs that I didn't show here. I do have a full recipe on this as a separate video, so I will leave that in the description box below. The only modification that I did make was I added jalapenos, and it was definitely a great addition to this. I also did a double batch. This was so I could store half of them in the freezer, which it froze beautifully. I just reheated them in the skillet with a little bit of avocado oil. The next meal is this chicken thighs with a feta spinach cream sauce. Honestly, I just made the sauce up and it turned out amazing, so I had to share it with you guys. I just have some boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I washed and seasoned with some salt and pepper. The sauce is super easy. I literally just made it up on the spot. It's about a tablespoon of butter with a little bit of garlic and a full bag of spinach. I let the spinach wilt in the butter for about a minute or two. And then I added some cream. I used about 1/4 of a cup. I added the drippings of the chicken. You can also use about a cup of chicken broth if you decide to make this sauce without the chicken. And then I just kind of added some cheeses that I had on hand. About 1/4 cup of mozzarella cheese, a couple tablespoons of parmesan cheese, and the star of the show, Feta. I actually forgot to put it in the actual sauce, so I ended up just breaking up about a half of a block of the feta cheese and mixed it all around. Now, you can totally make this super easy on yourself and just add the feta cheese in with the cream sauce while it's simmering, and I highly advise that. But you know what, this way works just as fine, and it tasted just as good. I placed this in the oven for probably 30 minutes at 375, give or take. The chicken's already fully cooked at this point. You're basically just warming up the sauce. And I have that with a side of cauliflower rice. I've been obsessed with cauliflower rice lately because I do like having a lot of bulk, so that way I feel fuller for longer, and cauliflower rice does that. I'm using about 1 to 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. You can honestly use any oil that you have, but I love avocado oil, as you know. And I'm seasoning this with a little bit of salt and pepper. Since the chicken does have a great sauce, you really don't need too much seasoning to the cauliflower rice, but as always, you can use whatever seasonings that you have on hand and fit it to your taste buds. This cauliflower rice took no time to cook. I had it on 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. I stirred it after 7 minutes, and then I kept an eye on it for the next couple of minutes until it just slightly toasted. be showing you guys. It is a low carb lasagna. What we're replacing with the pasta is zucchini, and a lot of people actually use like a mandolin to slice it very thin. I actually don't have it, so I decided to grate it as if I was going to be making zucchini tots. I actually prefer doing it this way because it took out a lot more water than just slicing it thin with a mandolin. I'm just adding salt to draw out the moisture. I do want to note that I used 4 zucchinis for this, and I feel like it was honestly way too much. I think 3 would have definitely been more than enough, and this fed an army. It was good for, I think, 7 or 8 servings, and I ended up portioning out about 5 servings for my meal plan, and then I gave some to my sister, and we still had leftovers. It was like never ending. So this is perfect if you have a family that you want to feed, and if they're not keto, they can easily have this with a side of garlic bread and a side salad. This original meat sauce recipe was from Food Wishes. I will leave their link down below, but I did a little bit of altercations just so that way it could be a little lower in carbs. I omitted the wine as well as the milk that they used and replaced the milk with heavy whipping cream. Now this meat sauce actually makes double what you would need for this recipe, so I usually just make a huge batch and then freeze half of it. Having this meat sauce in the freezer honestly is a lifesaver because it's a quick meal that you don't have to worry about cooking. I'm just adding my seasonings of choice. I like to season in stages, so I usually do it when I have all the veggies sauteing, and then I do it again once I add all the ingredients. I just have some lean ground beef and some hot Italian sausage. You want to make sure you break up the meat as small as you can, just so that way it can simmer and just melt in your mouth. I'm adding tomato paste. I used to add a full can of this tomato paste, but since it's a little bit higher in carb, I opted for only a couple of tablespoons. I ended up doing 3 tablespoons. Here you only see 2, and then I realized that I needed a little more to get the kind of color that I wanted on the meat. I know this seems strange, but adding a little bit of heavy whipping cream just adds a little bit more velvety luxuriness to this sauce. I don't know how else to explain it. But if you go to Food Wishes recipe, he does a really great way of explaining it and has some great tips on making meat sauces. So I highly advise. I've been making his meat sauce for the past 4 or 5 years now. I just have a can of tomatoes. This is unsalted, so definitely make sure you add some seasoning if you get the unsalted version. I'm just mixing this all in so everything can get combined. And then you want to add a full can of water. Now this is going to be a meat sauce that simmers for hours. If you don't have time for it to simmer for hours, then I would only put in half the amount of water, and that would speed up the process of the cook time. This is after 4 hours of cooking. I'm just making the ricotta mixture for the lasagna. I'm reserving half of a cup of the ricotta because I'm going to be using that in a cookie recipe that you'll see shortly. I'm just adding 1 full egg, and my seasoning is of choice. please don't mind my nightwear in the shot. Honestly, I had to do this early in the morning and I was not having it. I was super over it. Yeah, that was me. But we pushed through because I wanted to get this video out for you guys. I'm just layering all of the ingredients evenly. Next time I'm not going to add that last layer of zucchini because I really don't think it needed it. Next, you're going to take some foil and you just want to spray the top. This is so that way the cheese doesn't stick to the top of the foil. You're going to place this in a 400-degree oven for about 40 minutes. After about 20 to 30 minutes, I took off the foil and continued to let it cook. I wish I would have let the cheese brown, but I was running late for work, so I kind of had to just rush and get these clips for you guys. I know this is going to be hard, but I would highly advise to let this sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes. I actually wasn't able to let it sit that long because I was on a time crunch and I had to get to work. So that's why it was hard to put in the actual containers. But if you let it cool, it should come out pretty easily. I just paired this with a nice side salad of romaine lettuce, cucumbers, and tomatoes. I also decided to try Ketonec's cookies. I'm so sad I didn't end up getting another clip of the finished product, but if you head over to my Instagram, I actually did snap a picture over there so you can see how amazing they look over there. Honestly, this was such a good replacement to our traditional cookies. It tasted amazing, super soft, and it reminded me of real cookies. I know! I'll definitely make sure to leave their link down below because they had killed it with all of the holiday cookies. So if you guys want a treat that you won't have to worry about going off diet, head over there. They have so many recipes. It's amazing. Now this meal prep is a little bit higher in dairy, but honestly, the new year, it's going to be hard to get on the train. So I wanted to create delicious meals that I know you can stick with. And hopefully if you guys do try it, let me know. Let me know in the comments down below that you tried it and snap a picture of it. Tag me on Instagram. I would love to see the creations that you have made. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching this meal prep. It took a lot of hard work and I'm so happy that I'm finally showing you guys. If you guys do like these meal prep videos, please, before you leave, don't forget to like this video. Comment what you want me to make next, and